Whoa. Well, hello. What's up? It's Mountain Dew Zero. That is what's up today. The missus is working on a Friday night. She's in this room working. This is her office too. And so I'm here. I'm reading my book. Got a book we're going to review for the podcast. I don't have the name of it. But I made about 200 pages in. Hello, Brady. Hello. I'll mispronounce that name, but hello. How are you? Look, got my Wonder Twins shirt on. There's Gleek. I was going to get one that just had Gleek on it because, I mean, a blue monkey is a superhero who is part of the Justice League, at least in the cartoon. It's got to be cool, right? I don't know if this is cool. So, I think the next series that I'm going to watch is Babylon 5. Pretty sure cannot find the movie streaming at all, but on Amazon they're like $2 each. So that's like $8 to watch them, which I can do that. And Crusade, the spinoff series, is not playing, but that's $15 to buy on DVD. Super cheap. That's with shipping because that's Amazon. So that wouldn't be too bad. Watch that series again. Farscape, second behind. Yes, I am. I need to call you. I just talked to our mutual friend today. But I want to talk to you, so I'll give you a call either this weekend or next week for sure, early next week for sure. And I'm pretty sure, even though I haven't talked to her, Megan says hello. Megan, do you say hello to Tom?
Call?
Yes.
Yes.
She has a big smile, Tom. She has a big smile. Thank you. Thank you. I love the Wonder Twins shirt. So Tom the missus gives a big smile. Yes, don't worry. You're top of the list to visit. I'll be hanging out with Thomas and his podcast, Saga of Steve Rogers, which I don't think has posted a new episode in over a week. Don't know if you're taking a sabbatical. And there's Brian. Brian, I'll also be seeing you too. But you already knew that. Brian says hello, Megan.
Hello, Brian.
She says hello to Brian too. My goodness, the missus is more popular right now than I am here on this stream. Well, hello, Alex. Just got home from work. Good. Alex is blazing through the legacy comp books. He's determined to beat me to the end. So that's fun. That's fun. All American Cornbread. Hello. 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 Yeah. I just thought, since she's got to work, she's been working late every night. She's had so much work to do. So on issue 42 of Legacy zooming. Yeah, the comic books go really quick. I haven't mapped out how many videos it's going to take me to do all of those reviews, but I may, depending on how deep the storyline is, like even this is the first 6 issues, I think I have tons to talk about on it. So I was like, okay, so maybe I can just hack it out between there, and that takes the show to May, instead of April. I don't know. I'm not trying to rush it or trying to drag it on. I'm just trying to see. I want to give at least, I like about 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes. That's the minimum of stuff talking about each one. If I can combine certain short stories together, I will. Sometimes I had to do a short story by itself because I didn't want to get to the next big story in line. But I'm right now trying to map out Legacy. And that's really the last thing I have left to work out. Everything else I've worked out. So Legacy is it. After that, there's just some unpublished stuff that I may go back and do later on. We'll see. But after Legacy is War, and then after War, Legacy War, and then after that is Legacy 2, I think is what they called it, right? So yeah, you did issues 1 to 8. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that too. Yeah, I'm just gonna space them out, maybe by story arc. But if the story arc's not that prevalent, I want to go back to not spoiling as much. But of course, that's hard to do when you're doing a comic book series. You have to spoil the previous review has to spoil what happened. So I try to go as light as I can. I haven't been doing that with the serial books, but I'll be doing that. Well, I won't be doing it with the comic books either. But anyway, yeah. So think about watching Babylon 5. That's high on my rewatch list. And then I've never seen Farscape. I've never seen Farscape. I think I should. It's all streaming. It's all streaming. I can watch all the Farscape and the one TV movie. I can get that too. So that may be my second thing I binge. Not really interested in anything that hasn't completed. So just looking at stuff that's been completed. And Farscape has been on and off the radar for some time. But Babylon 5 is getting pretty high. HBO Max just re-released them. Supposedly they updated the digital effects, the special effects. I've got to see that. Now, unfortunately, they didn't do that with the movies. The movies still have the old, 2000 CGI, which looks really bad. That's the only thing bad about Babylon 5 is the CGI is really awful. But of course, back in the day, that was the best they could do, on a budget. So, but it looks really bad. I remember every time you see it, you go, ugh. They just never got to look right. I mean, you can't blame them because it was the time, but yeah, look at that. Babylon 5. So good. Yeah, I've only watched it once. Hey, Brian, are you the one that has them all on DVD? I think you do. Because I remember seeing someone, hey, Jamie, how's it going, man? I remember seeing someone, and I went over to and they had all Babylon 5. And I thought it was Bruce, and Bruce said he didn't have them. I said, well, I don't even know how I watched them the first time, because that was back before streaming was really a big thing. And I borrowed the DVDs from someone, even the DVDs to the movies and Crusade. And I don't know who, and not to say it was you, Brian, but you have them. Yeah, I remember. I've seen them on your shelf before, and you won't have them by the time I leave your house. That and Queen's Gambit. No, but there was someone here who let me borrow them. I don't know. I know no one else besides Bruce who had such a big library, and I didn't buy them because I didn't know them back then. But it's a really good series. I want to see it again, but I don't remember who had it. But I do remember you even had Crusade in there, if I recall. See, I remember zero of Crusade, zero, or the last movie, the Rangers movie, Legends of the Rangers. I remember zero of that. That I have zero memory. I know I watched it because it's a spinoff, but I have zero memory of it. Oh yeah, Alex knows this show very well. I just like the premise. They all got to see the future in season 1, and over the 5 seasons, they do. Well, it depends. They all take this differently. They try to change the future, or they accept their fate, and it is crazy. It is crazy how the guy wrote out the show for 5 seasons. I mean, every episode he had an outline. He knew where he wanted to go. It went 1 season, then they renewed it for 2 seasons, then they renewed it for another 2 seasons, and they were ready to give him another 2 seasons. He went, I'm done. And they went, you can't be done. So he did those movies, and then he did Crusade, the spinoff series. But he was done with the Babylon 5 story, and it is done. And the last episode is because you're thinking, can you change your destiny? That's the question. Can you change your destiny? And I don't want to spoil it, but it is really good. It is really good. You gotta look out the look at this. Yeah, you just gotta look out for the bad CGI. Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I think so. 18, wasn't it? Yeah, my buddy Benjamin from Saturday Morning Salmon Flange, Alex, is rewatching those right now. He usually just watches Next Generation every night before he goes to bed, but he decided to shake things up and do Deep Space Nine, and he is loving Deep Space Nine. He forgot how good it was. Well, he always knew it was good, but he's just really enjoying it. Yeah, that is a great game. My review is coming out next week. Next week. Megan played it with me a few nights ago, and she loved it. She also beat the crap out of me. That game's supposed to be like, what, 60 to 90 minutes long? She had me in 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. And hey, look at that. Mr. Chris Nelson, everybody. Conway Twitty. Here he is. How's it going? Going, Chris. Chris makes he makes videos every blue moon. His channel's awesome for it. Let's see. What do you think about the character Ferris Olin? Well, if you watch my reviews, I did not like him. I did not like him. Did not like him at all. Kind of hated him. He was always the antagonist against Anakin Skywalker, that we were bred to not like him. And now, for the Last of the Jedi series, we're told to feel sorry for him, to like him. He always knew Anakin was a bad egg. He always knew Anakin was going to do this. He knows that Anakin and Darth Vader are the same person, you know, and it makes him like a know-it-all. He's annoying. I had no feelings for him. I couldn't care if he died or lost. And the whole thing about the Emperor's going to pit him against Anakin. Whatever. Ferris is nothing compared to Anakin or Darth Vader, okay? Personally, I didn't like him. That's right. Now it's a nightcap. Not because of me, just because of Chris. Oh, yeah. He's all about the beard and the hair. His hair looks great. His hair looks awesome. In fact, I want to know what shampoo he uses. I use Horse and Mane on this mane here. But it still doesn't look as nice as Chris's. I mean, he may brush it like, you know, 99 times this way, 99 times this way, and sings. I think that's what happened. He brushes and sings, and kind of like the girl from Tangled, it just has this special ability to just grow just beautifully. Seriously. If he was in Lion, he'd be Aslan. Yeah, Alex, he's still there. I guess before I eventually cut my hair, I'll bleach it platinum blonde. Oh, no response from the missus.
No, you won't.
You didn't hear that. She said, no, you won't. How powerful what I say is. I mean, the book wants you to think that he's Anakin's equal in a way, you know, especially now that Darth Vader has fallen. Me personally, I don't know. That's subjective. Also, how much is your book collection worth? A lot. There's some couple $100 books in there. I have all the Science Fiction Book Club omnibuses. I did not pay hundreds of dollars for some of these. But there's one in particular that's really, I never knew it was that hard to get. Where is it? I say hundreds of dollars. I'm talking about everything, not just one book. Even though one book may sell for hundreds of dollars. Well, dadgummit, where's the book I was talking about? It was right here. I'll find it in a minute. Anyway, yeah, some of the books cost a pretty penny. But I bought them when they came out. I was a member of the Science Fiction Book Club. Where is that book? Oh, there it is. Scourge and hardback. That's supposedly a really hard one to get. And there's a few others in here too that I have that are kind of hard. But the Science Fiction Book Club ones are the most expensive ones. And then, of course, I have my beautiful, let's see if I can show you it, West End Games collection up here. That's Wizards of the Coast, and that's down below. There's a little bit of Fantasy Flight. You have enough, get out of the way. It's Fantasy Flight and some supplemental stuff there. That stuff, the West End game stuff, can run a pretty penny too. Asking Wizards of the Coast, at least when I was looking for it, was real expensive. Like Starships of the Galaxy. Now I played cover for it, but it was going for double that amount. Like it covers 35. It was going for like 70. I was like 75. I was like, whoa, that seems a little too much. But those books go for a lot. But I knew a guy who owned a comic book store back in the day, and he had them all. He brought them out of his storage and said, here you go, you can have them. And he gave them to me for half off cover actually, because I bought so many. He went, I'll give you half off cover, all of them. I was like, oh my gosh. Because I mean, that's how I got most, if not all. There was one book I was missing. I think it was The Unknown Regions, but I can't remember. But he had just about the complete collection. So that was a really big find for me. That would be expensive too. I won't look. I'll never look that cool. That's true. That's true. She's getting married tomorrow, folks. If you want to meet Dylan, the Vice Presidente of Twin Sons Foundation, he will be in the Dallas area. I really wanted to go, but can't. Plus, it's freaking cold. There's a snowstorm coming. But I love that Dylan went. I'd love to see Dylan. I even told Dylan he could just hop a car and come see me, but he's just so selfish. He'd rather get on a plane and go back to California. we'd even give him cheese balls too if he came.
He'll be stuck in Dallas if the weather's bad.
Oh yeah, he may be stuck in Dallas, winter weather. And if so, we'll go get him. We'll go get Dylan. I can go get Dylan. Mrs. says let him freeze. Let him sleep outside and freeze. Huh?
I didn't say that, but I'm not driving in that weather.
Yeah, we don't do anything for Dylan. That right there is why you need to go subscribe to Chris. Congrats to Dylan. Oh no, Dylan's not marrying her. I should have thought about that before I said it. Dylan's not marrying Amelia. Dylan's just going there. Although, wouldn't that be great? Dylan just disrupts the wedding. If there's anyone that objects to the wedding, I do. And then Dylan holds up the boombox over his head. I don't know if anyone gets this reference, but I'd love to see that. Say anything. Mrs. does, because she's cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, we were one of the first people. I noticed that a lot of wedding people do that now, like bride and grooms do that. We were the first wedding that I'd ever been to that decided to switch it up. And we decided that from the very beginning. We didn't want to, my wife's a big Beauty and the Beast fan, so we're going to dance Beauty and the Beast. But then we always had to plan to switch it up. So my wife was what else did we play there? Oh, she loves Dirty Dancing. And then the music changed to Star Wars. And then, no, went to Star Wars, then Dirty Dancing. It was Duel of the Fates, where I had two lightsabers hidden underneath me. She's holding on. The reason we're kind of dancing kind of stiff is she's holding on to the lightsabers because she had to help me bring them out. And in fact, I had to go get the lightsabers before the dance started. I forgot them. I was like, hold on, don't play it yet. And I went out in the car and I was like, what's he doing? He's going to throw up before he dances. And then it was Dirty Dancing, and then New Kids on the Block. And then I mean, it was perfect. We do that twirl and right as the music hits, and then finish off with Beauty and the Beast. Really fun, really fun. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You know what though? Here you go. This is perfect. In your eyes, the light, the heat. You know who he's talking about, right? Mr. Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Look who I got.
Amelia's backup plan. That's what I am, just in case.
Just in case.
I'm on deck.
Just in case she leaves Dylan at the altar.
That's right. Yeah.
Amelia's going to kill us. If she ever sees this. Oh, my goodness. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Yeah.
Now,
we got a chance to talk earlier this week. That was fun.
Yeah. We get to talk for a minute. We are getting into a winter weather warning. We're going to get snow for the second time this year, which has got to break a record. We're going to be down to even 8 degrees one night, which is unheard of for Louisiana. We seriously, the state declared it's we're in a state of emergency right now because we've never. Yeah, because 8 degrees. What is that? What is single digits in a triple digit summer? You know,
man, I'm jealous.
So what's the weather like? Are you snowing? You're up a little bit north.
Yeah, it's very cold. It's in the singles, and it has been for a while. On Valentine's Day, it's going to be -13. But then we're going to have sort of a heat wave next week, so it's going to be back up into the teens. So it's brutal here, and it's been very snowy, and like some of like the most accumulation we've had in years. So it's a horrible place to live. I don't know why any human does it. It's only meant for deers and squirrels up here. But you know,
hey, they say that about Louisiana in the summer. It's hot in the daytime, muggy at night. It doesn't cool off. It's still muggy. It's like walking into a sauna.
It's brutal.
Filled with mosquitoes.
Well, you know, and this is like a weird thing to bring up, but I've been to New Orleans a couple of times, and the thing that really struck me there were the bugs. Like I went to this like outdoor patio restaurant thing, and like all night long, like these flying roaches just kept banging me against the head. Like what's the bug situation up near your neck of the woods?
Well, right now, nothing. I mean, to be honest, the snow and ice is a good thing because that means it's going to be when it freezes, obviously mosquitoes are frozen too, and they die off. Right. So another freeze like this is great. It's going to lower because it usually gets really bad when it starts getting warm, which is March, which is next month. And seriously, in 2 weeks, I'll be wearing shorts again.
Oh man,
or 3 weeks. It's so weird. Here's Brian making a very. No, Dylan, we weren't talking about you. I don't know what you're talking about. Harry is laughing at 7 degrees Fahrenheit. I can't wait to be there in a few weeks to enjoy that weather. If you don't know, Chris, I'm traveling.
Oh, yeah? Are you going to Arizona?
Sunny Arizona.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's nice.
Where the grass is green and wait, there is no grass.
There's no grass. Yeah, well, it depends. It depends where you are. So it's funny. So I lived in Tucson for about 2 years.
I know this.
Yeah. And I left in 2014. That's then when I came here. It's weird because my family's from Wisconsin, but I grew up in Los Angeles. But I'm sort of like, it kind of pulled me back. But and then I lived in Washington D.C. for 10 years, so I've kind of bounced all over. But I forgot why was I saying that? I can't remember. Oh, just that. What's interesting about Arizona is when I lived in Tucson for a semester, I actually commuted up to Flagstaff on the other side of Phoenix. Right? There's only like three cities in Arizona, really, right? And it's so different there, right? It's not a desert; it's a forest. And so it's funny. Like I taught, and I kept like trying to make all these like desert references and stuff, you know, and like cactus references, and they kept saying, "What state are you from?" I go, "I'm from your state," and they go, "We don't have cactus here," and it's really true. So it's actually a really radically diverse climate. But Tucson was so insanely hot, and I've heard Phoenix actually gets hotter. I remember one time getting in my car. It's at 123 degrees. And so my wife and I finally left when we were kind of like, like the summer was coming up, and my job, I worked at a university, and I was there to like build a program. It was over. I didn't need to be there anymore, but we were like maybe going to hang around. And then we said, it's May. It's going to get really hot really soon. Like, let's just get the heck out of here. We didn't even have a plan. We just said, let's just go to Wisconsin for a while. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Shut up.
And she's from here, so it kind of worked out. But like, we kind of came here just thinking we'd hang out for the summer, and then we've just stayed, you know. But I mean, again, compared to like -30 you know, like it gets here, I wouldn't mind living back again where like the sun, like the thing about Arizona is like nature is trying to kill you, right? Like the sun feels like it's 2 miles from your head. And the best thing too was, I think the thing that like really put it over the edge for my wife was, I was away one time on business, and I got this call, and she goes, I found a king snake in your shoe inside the house. So that was, I think enough was enough. Yeah. So
that is funny. That is funny. Yeah. The first time I went to Phoenix, I knew it was going to be hot. They told me it was a summer. I didn't know anyone back then. And so I'm walking back to my hotel because I was right next to work, and there's a wind blowing, but it was like someone pointed a hairdryer in your face. It was not a cool, refreshing wind. I started going, ow, ow. And I was laughing. I was like, what is going on? It's hot and there's a hot wind. I don't want the wind blowing on me. I'm going to burn to death. It was the craziest thing in the world I'd ever seen. Hold on. Did I see someone else from Louisiana? Holy cow. I'm Northeast Louisiana. I wonder what are you getting that snow warning too? No, we are.
But you grew up in Mississippi, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Mississippi.
Which part
of Mississippi?
Like, which quadrant of the state?
Oh, Forest, Mississippi, right there, 45 minutes east of Jackson on I-20. I was just 40 minutes straight shot.
My grandfather moved to Mississippi after he retired. Have you ever heard of Long Beach? You ever heard of Long Beach, Mississippi? It's like right there on the coast.
Yeah, it's down there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he moved. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Have you been to Long Beach?
No, I haven't. Unfortunately, I don't know if anyone has ever since Katrina. Like he lost everything.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. And see, people forget that and Biloxi got hit bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That got passed over in the news, but Biloxi also, everything coastal there in Mississippi got hit bad too, but it wasn't New Orleans.
Right.
Which got all the hit. I mean, and to be honest, there was a small town outside New Orleans. It's not there anymore. It's permanently 4 feet underwater now. I can't remember what it's called. But my friend, that's where she grew up, but she can never go home.
Wow.
Because their house there, but the whole town is 4 feet underwater. You know, I mean, like you can see street signs. It's weird.
Yep.
But it's not going to recede now because Louisiana is slowly sinking.
Right.
Obviously too. But the beaches of oh wow. Hi Michael. Wow. Yeah. You are then. That's wild. Fellow North Louisianian there. So yeah, you're getting all the snow warnings right for Sunday night or Monday for sure or something.
Yeah.
What were we just talking about? What was the last thing I just said to you?
Oh my gosh, you were talking about Biloxi and Katrina.
Oh yeah. Have you ever? Oh, so the beaches there, they're not pretty. I've been, to be honest, to be fair, I've never been to Long Beach. I went to Biloxi.
Mm-hmm.
It's mud. It's nice. I mean, it's dirt. It's dirt. And then we try to pretend it's sand.
Right.
And if you don't look at it, it can kind of feel like sand. But it's funny because Alabama beaches they're crisp, just like a Florida beach.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell the difference. You can tell the difference when you're in Mississippi.
What is it? Is it just it's just all of the everything coming out of the river, right? Probably.
Yeah. Well, remember that's where the Gulf kind of is kind of washing up. I don't really know how that works properly, but it's not. I mean, I guess it is sand, but it's brown or gray. The beaches are different there, and not as nice. I mean, it's a beach. It is a beach. But just not, you can tell that you're not in Florida. Where when Dad first took us to Gulf Shores, Alabama, which is where we go every summer, I thought, oh no, because I knew what Mississippi looked like. And we went, looks just like Florida. You can't tell the difference. I was like, wow, this is a lot different from Mississippi. So, but yeah, it's exactly who it is. It's exactly who it is. It's Christopher Nolan. You spelled your name wrong, Chris.
Right, that's right.
The first name there. Here you
go. Yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Oh, Michael played video. I love viticulture. Love viticulture, Michael. Michael, we were just talking about a game with Brian Borg. I played Battle Cry from Avalon Hill. Have you ever played that? It's a battle game. Really nice. Anyway, my next question for Chris, now that I didn't, we're trying to get his origin story here, folks. This is great.
Right.
This is great. This is exclusive stuff here. What cool thing have you gotten in recently, Star Wars related?
Gosh, a lot of stuff. I'll tell you, it's been a real windfall. I'll show you something real quick. So
by the way, folks, Chris gets the promos, the just the odd and in stuff that I wouldn't even know how to search for half the stuff he finds.
Right. Let me see if I can pull this out, because there's a guy I found in a really obscure part of England that came into a huge Star Wars collection, and I've been trying to sort of buy him out like piecemeal, and he's just still going through it. And what he found was a bunch of stuff that I remember. I was there a little bit in the 90s, and I remember some of the shops, some of the Bantam era posters, and I've been able to track them all down, and they are amazing. Let me show you this one. Intergalactic Newsflash, Princess Leia to Mary.
Shut up. Hold on. I got to blow up your... Oh, wow.
Right? Isn't that cool? So,
oh my gosh, I've never seen that before.
What I like about the top is it's almost like it's in universe, right? It's almost like it's an actual newsflash, right? And yeah, pretty cool, and yeah, and so there's a whole series like this, same size, same sort of thing. And I wish I had them right here, but again, I've got so much. I'll be happy to someday lay this all out. In fact, what I ought to do is just take photos of all of it, just put it on the website. But there's another one that's coming in about the Han Solo novels, Jealousy Intensified. There was another one too, and you know what? I should really find this, because you'd get a real kick out of this, I think. Oh shoot, where is it? I'll find it next time we do something like this. I'll find it, because it's the same style, and it's on the front is basically a... Sorry, I'm sort of stumbling here. I just wish I could find it. On the front is a advertisement for the X-Wing books, and the image they use is actually almost like a virgin cover of the first X-Wing book. Like, there's just no text or anything. It's just that piece of artwork, which is really cool. But you flip it on the back, and it's every Bantam book up to that point, with like lines connecting them. And then it says putting it all together, which is like a very British sort of way of just sort of putting it all together, very kind of passive way of sort of saying, yeah, this stuff all adds up, right? This is the canon, this is the continuity. And it connects the dots, and it tells you the years and everything. So it's just so cool. This obscure British, Bantam poster that's like, just once again, just laying it down like this is the Star Wars story after the film. It's really, really cool. I'll show you another cool thing. Of all of the things in the Star Wars universe to collect, obviously I'm a big promo guy, but within that, there's one thing that I want to have total dominance over. Like, if there was one thing I could specialize in, it would be anything related to the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, right? For a couple of reasons. One is just because it's just one of my favorite things. It's so fun, great memories, but also because there's like a discrete set of things to get. Like, you could actually get everything, right? And we know what everything is. And
it's complete.
I've now done that. I've now done that. And I'll show you. This is the next to last piece. I have one more piece coming in. You're going to need the full screen for this one. It just keeps going.
Oh,
it just keeps going. And it, by the way, it's like double-sided.
What was that used for?
This was probably just, at like comic book shops and bookstores, windows. Yeah, at window. And yeah, so obviously this is advertising the first bit. Now, there are three posters that were used to market the difference, effectively the 3 seasons, right? And this is artwork from the first. The artwork from the other 2 was done by the same artist, who's got a website, who's not really a Star Wars guy. He's just an artist who got commissioned to do this, but he just came up with the most brilliant stuff, to kind of piece them together. I have those posters now, And the really cool thing is that the version of the poster that's similar to this artwork, they did a thing where they put it in bus shelters. So I have this in a version that is 4 feet long and 6 feet tall.
Shut up.
I mean, it's just an utter thing of beauty. So my collection is now a shrine to Tartakovsky promo materials. And by the way, in addition to this, there's tons of other things, but these posters have just, and by the way, you can occasionally still find this stuff. This is going to sound like I'm bragging. I'm not, because I did not pay this, but there is a version of the poster of this that is now on eBay for about $1,000. So good luck. Unfortunately, a lot of them are signed by Tartakovsky, because there were versions of these that you could get at celebrations and things that he was at. So he signed them. So it's just jacking the price up, unfortunately. But anyway, I cannot get enough of the micro series promo stuff. So yeah. So someday I'll have to find a frame that's 4 by 6 feet. So
and when we talked on the phone earlier this week, I told you I need to do a top 5 or top 10 Star Wars stories I was dead wrong on. Like I poo-pooed it when it was announced, and then totally had to eat my words later on. That happened a lot for me, folks. Everyone says, "Oh, you're a mystery. You like all the Star Wars." No, I was very negative on a lot of things that I turned up being dead wrong on, and one of them was Clone Wars. Jenny Tartovsky's Clone Wars. I saw the art, and I was like, oh, that doesn't look good. And then I heard it's gonna be like 5 minutes long, or the first cartoon was like 2.5 minutes, wasn't it? Or 3 minutes?
Oh, no, yeah, if 3.
And yeah. I remember scoffing when we sat down to watch the Cartoon Network premiere. I was like, premiere, 3-minute premiere, a 3-minute cartoon. What's it going to show us? A picture of everyone, then say bye-bye and run the credits. I was the most negative person in the room. And when they showed it, I kind of stopped and paused and went, huh, like that was pretty good. And then I got, as they kept coming out, I remember the one that I had to stop being doubtful was the Mace Windu episode, the mini episode.
Yep.
I could not believe they did. That was the best Mace Windu had ever been portrayed. And still today is the best he's ever been portrayed, in my opinion. I was like, oh my gosh, they thought about things that no one's ever thought about. You could do it with the Force. I said, this is amazing.
Right. Yeah.
I was the first episode I was over the moon about, but then when that happened, I was like, oh, this is the best show ever. Just like
it is. I mean, I think I've said this before, and I mean, obviously, I'm sure like all of our Star Wars opinions about what your favorite is, you go back and forth from time to time. Your mood changes at different points for whatever reason, but I'd say the majority of my life since 2003 and 5, I mean, that's been probably my favorite just Star Wars thing. Is that show? I mean, it's just
I know I mentioned this in my TV overview of it, but I thought Dirge was such a smart choice for a villain because he's not a Jedi, but yet he's a match for Obi-Wan because of his regenerative ability. And I was like, that's awesome. He's super scary now. And I love that they thought outside the box and said, okay, let's just make him a dark Jedi Inquisitor or something, something like that. Force against Force. Let me get to some of these questions for Chris.
Awesome.
Chris?
I don't collect it. No. I have a couple of things from the new canon, but for a couple of like odd reasons. But no, I don't collect it. No.
He's a big collector of anything Dave Filoni.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. It's probably Rebels, right?
No, I'm not a newcomer. I am jealous of newcomers because they get to discover this stuff for the first time.
And that's Brian's reaction probably to the poster there.
Yeah.
Whoa, I was behind. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I'm fine. Let's see. Yeah, there's all the. See, he gets on to me for asking me that, for me asking him that all the time. Oh, here's one.
Oh, that's an interesting question. I think maybe Aaron Alston, just because he's no longer with us. So I've got some signed X-Wing books by him, but I think I told the story before too, just really quickly. Is like Drew Karpyshyn. I met him right when Path of Destruction came out, and I thought that was such an important year in Star Wars for the EU. It was finally the time for the EU to once again shine post films, and I met him at a book signing that I sort of accidentally stumbled on. I couldn't believe it. I was like at this like weekend work event, and I just walked down to the bookstore just to check it out, and he was in there giving a talk about Path of Destruction. I couldn't believe it. So talked to him, got the book signed. So anyway, that was maybe my most favorite moment. But
I have obviously Kevin J. Anderson. Meeting him for the first time was really awesome. Having him sign some of my books. I've met him several times. I've signed different books. He signed almost everything now. And then Troy Denning was another big one checked off my list. And that was one of the last cons I went to. Troy Denning and Dave Dorman. It was like I wasn't even interested in going to the con. My wife was. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And then I saw Troy Denning's name and went, we're going.
Yeah, that's
what we're going to do. Yeah, I like that one. No words, just steaming lightsabers. That, again, that's a fantastic episode.
And the sound of like the rain hitting the lightsabers. By the way, really quickly on autographs, I actually have 2 Star Wars autographs that I didn't know I was getting. So I have some artwork, promo artwork that was signed by Jan Duursema. I didn't realize it would be signed. It showed up signed. And then I actually have something signed by Gendy Tartakovsky too. So
the one super weird, proud thing. Well, here's one. Here's a question too.
I haven't, and it's funny, and I always feel so bad. I haven't. I have not played that. And Matt, I think you say the same thing, and I think you get the same rap I do sometimes. Then we're sort of viewed not to be gamers, but then I almost accept that. But then I realize, wait a minute, I played this X-Wing game on Commodore 64 in the early 80s. All day long. So it dawns on me when I really think about it. No, I played Star Wars video games for like 15 years, all the way through like Super Nintendo. It's just unfortunately this new era with like the MMORPGs. No, I just haven't done it. Unfortunately, I'd love to.
I believe I stopped with either GameCube or PlayStation. I got them both at the same time. PlayStation Masters of the Terrace Key, which I enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
GameCube was Rogue Squadron 2, which sucked. I loved Rogue Squadron for N64. I thought that was the best one.
My favorite arcade game, by the way, that is also a console game, is still to this day Episode 1 Racer, where you're just in a pod race.
Oh yeah, Pod Racer. Great. I had that one for N64. I had the you talk about Super Nintendo. I had Super Star Wars, Super Empire Strikes Back, Super. I played those all the time. So yeah, more of that. Never got to play Dark Forces though, even though it was around my time.
Right.
Chris, you have a favorite author?
Yes, but it's not Star Wars related. His name is Anthony Pohl. He's a British writer from the last century. But favorite Star Wars author, I think in my view, there's a trinity. This is a pretty boring answer, but there's a trinity of Luceno, Stover, and Denning. I think they're kind of equal in my book.
There you go. Oh yeah, I got to see. Went to see AC Chris when she was sick. Is that when she was passing away? I went to her memorial thing that the authors did for her. It was kind of overshadowed. It was supposed to be for AC Crispin, but then Alston passed away too, and so it became more of an Alston memorial, Aaron Alston memorial. But Kevin J. Anderson was there for AC Crispin, and he provided some AC Crispin stories. And it's sad because I don't think many people knew that AC Crispin had passed away. People were kind of like, wait, she died? I could hear people going, AC Crispin, what'd she do? And they said, she wrote the Han Solo. Oh, she died? And I was like, yeah.
That's sad. I remember it happened really fast. I remember getting the announcement that like she was sick, and I think the next week she was gone.
And Aaron Alston was beloved. He'd done tons of books. AC Crispin had done this trilogy once a long time ago, a few short stories, but it kind of was out. Now, supposedly, did you tell me this? Was it? No, that was Christian Catherine Rush was supposed to be involved more.
Yeah. Rush, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But let me see here. Why would we tell you?
Yeah.
We don't have competition. I'm kidding.
That's a good point. I got to tell you something. I've noticed something. Promo stuff is getting harder and harder to. Yeah, I'm always looking for this stuff. I have most of it now, but I'm always keeping an eye on the market. A lot of stuff now is just gone faster than you can identify. I think in a this sounds egotistical, but in a very, very, very small way. The few times I've talked about it, I think a couple of people have watched it, have gone out and then done the searches and have now grabbed this stuff. So I kind of created my own competition.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The one thing I wish I had, let me tell you this, the one thing I wish I had, like, let's say autographs, obviously Aaron Alston, but also Brian Daly. I totally wish I could have his autograph on my Han Solo books, because I thought his was very good. And A.C. Crispin. I mean, I guess those are the only three, well, besides Vonda and McIntyre. And now that I think about it, if you haven't heard, folks, the Geek's Attic just lamented the fact that he could never get an autographed copy of Crystal Star, his favorite novel, bar none, in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. So
this is a totally fantastical answer to that question, because it's not realistic. But I suppose if there's one thing that I don't have, that I would love something from. Wouldn't it be amazing to have like a book or something from George Lucas's actual collection or something? You know what I mean? Just something for like an actual piece of Star Wars from him, if that makes any sense, you know? Because like I have L. Neil Smith's copies of the Lando books, like from his library.
What? How'd you get that?
Story before. Mutual friend.
Oh,
mutual friend. So that, and I've heard other stories like that. Like I know a guy who has like a copy of like Lucino's Cloak of Deception and stuff. But
I have Michael P. Q. McDowell's.
Exactly, right.
Omnibus.
I remember you telling me that. He signed it, right?
He signed it. Because I joined this was one of the first science fiction book club 3-in-1 hardbacks. And it came right before I got into science fiction, right before I knew about Science Fiction Book Club, where you couldn't find it. You couldn't order it anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. And then someone says, why don't you track down Michael P. Q. McDowell? So I found his email address on the interwebs using web crawler and Ask Jeeves. And then I found him and I emailed him. I said, this is the Michael P. Q. McDowell. I am looking for, and that was kind of dumb. Why would I talk to the author? Well, it turns out he had a copy. He goes, yeah. He said, I have a son named Matt. Here, I'll sign it. And sent it to me. Didn't ask for any money. I would have mailed him a check or whatever. Just sent it to me, autographed it. Super nicest thing in the world. Obviously, nice. I do love the series, not just because of that. I love the series when I first read it anyway, because I wasn't worried, because I knew they weren't going to do anything with, Luke's mom. I knew that was a red herring to begin with. Everyone was freaking out online.
It seems like the new consensus now, and it's funny, we've talked about this. I feel like there's always been a weird thing about that book for years. I mean, there's always been like, it's not been a huge favorite. And one of the new consensus around that seems to be, it's just convoluted. But it's like, yeah, but that's what fiction is. It's all over the place. It's a big galaxy. There's lots of different subplots, and that they don't always connect up. But okay, neither did it's like watching Pulp Fiction or something. I mean, it's just all over the place. I don't know. It's got a bad rap.
All right. Which authors do you want an autograph from, Chris? James Lucino. I haven't met him yet. He'd be on my list. Drew Karpyshyn would also be on the list too.
Yeah.
John Jackson Miller. Kathy Tyers. I have a long list.
Yeah, all of them. I mean, I'll just say all of them. But I think it would be cool, for all the slagging I do of Zahn, I think it would be cool to have Heir to the Empire signed by Zahn. That would be neat.
I met Zahn. I had him sign everything.
Nice.
I gave him a full. I had a huge stack, every Zahn Star Wars book at the time. And I said, "Do you want me to just have you sign half and then stand back in line? Because I know they were saying 5 books max." He went, "No, I'll sign them all." I was like, "Okay," because I'm prepared to do that. And I was like, "You're signing everything." I got Ari Salvatore to sign Vector Prime in episode 2.
Oh, cool.
Vector Prime, that was a big one for me, because I remember he signed it. And he looked at me. He went, "Now, it wasn't my idea to kill Chewbacca." I said, "Yes, sir. I am educated in that." And you know what, though? I agree wholeheartedly. Thanks for killing off Chewie, because he took a lot of grief back in the day for that. But let's see. What is your favorite story novel from the new canon compared to? We don't read new canon. unfortunately. Unless Chris knows. Chris may.
I've read it. I actually have read a couple of New Canon books. The first couple.
What? Get out of my stream. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
The first couple, and I don't know. I mean, I don't. They're not horrible. I mean, I can't knock them. So I mean, but I can't compare them either. They're not.
I wish they would have put that in the inside the flap.
They're not horrible.
They're not horrible. I mean, if you're thinking they are, they're not.
I will say this. I also read a couple of the first comic miniseries. There was a Lando miniseries and a Chewbacca miniseries that came out in like 2014, 2015. And believe it or not, and this was purely an artifact of just going to comic shops and wanting to. I bought a couple of there was the Road to Episode 1 Shattered something. I don't forget what it's called. And all I could think was it was just really inconsequential. All of the comics I read, and it just made me feel kind of like the decision to decanonize was just obviously so haphazard that it wasn't what those first comics should have been. Was the statement about where the vision for the future lay, right? Instead, it was just another miniseries that would have been boring, but could have just been a part of the old continuity. Anyway, so that's a little opportunistic rant to get a dig on the decanonization, but I haven't read enough books to make any other comparisons.
Yeah. How about this? I don't know. Hold on, let me think before I say. Okay. Out of all the unpublished material,
oh wow,
that we know that's out there.
Yeah, great question.
What would you like to have? Let's say they didn't lose. A lot of this is lost in time, and they threw it away. They threw away their old hard drives. So we don't. But what if you could have it completed, even if they started it and then stopped it? I know. Go ahead.
I don't know. It's tough. I've got three answers. Obviously, Escape from Dagu.
Yeah.
And I would want to know where Margaret Weiss was going with whatever it was she was supposed to do.
Wow, with the Tennessee Flint, Margaret Weiss.
Yep.
Thing. Oh,
just to have her have that voice. I mean, it's a major voice in sci-fi fantasy. And I think the other thing too would be this, the supposed kind of like fairy tales that we're gonna involve. What's his
John Whitman.
Who was it going to be about? Was it going to be about
Jaina and Jason?
Oh, Jaina and Jason, right? Exactly.
And he wrote
just little bits about that.
He wrote the first two to prime it, to present it. Scholastic was going to go with that, and then episode 1 got announced. They said, "Stop. We want to see if we can get some episode 1 story going on." And I can't blame them, because that's where we got Jude Watson's excellent Jedi Apprentice series.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to have seen fairy tales. That is definitely one. Let me pick 3 too. Let me see if I can go a little different. Elaine Cunningham's Blood Oath.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
And then, what was it called? It was canceled. The New Jedi Order trilogy. They wrote the first book.
Nightfall.
Nightfall, because it's New Jedi Order.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't going in the right direction they wanted, which they eventually canceled. But I heard the first book was mostly written. The second book was partially, and the third book had an outline. But if they could finish that all, I'd love to see it. There's tons of other ones too, because supposedly the Jedi Prince series was supposed to maybe go another 3.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's right. We know enough about that to know that the wedding stuff wasn't a contradiction, because of where we knew that they were going to go.
According to them, the next one was going to be called Obi-Wan's Ghost or whatever, or something, where Obi-Wan's ghost was going to come back into the storyline, but the Empire was going to bust up that wedding when they were walking down the aisle. So there was supposed to be a few more planned, but of course, when Zahn's trilogy blew up, they said, "Stop. We need to look at all this together before we just hodgepodge throw things out there," which was a good move. So those would be my 3. So the only one I'd share with you is John Whitman's fairy tales.
Yeah.
There's tons of others you can pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved to have known what they were thinking for Force Unleashed 3. I know that's a video game, but they were doing novelizations, and it never ended. Good. Are you done? Okay.
I got one more comment.
Okay. But
I should have said that. That's at the top of my list, I think.
What, Force Unleashed 3?
Yeah, it's funny, for years, Sword of the Jedi has been the sort of the battle cry. Not for me. It's I obviously I know that Vader gets away, obviously, but I want that circle completed.
And there's always Sword of the Jedi. That's always one.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, I find Christy Golden to be okay. Okay. And I'll be honest, looking back through and reviewing some of her Fate of the Jedi, I actually like some of the stories and like some of the connections she made. It's not as bad. When I started looking over the overall synopsis, I was like, oh, that happened in that book? Oh, I kind of like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
But for Sword of the Jedi, I would kind of hold off too, because I'd like to read that other stuff. I mean, honestly, Blood Oath and Nightfall Trilogy would be the top. And then I got to read the fairy tales. I want to see what it was about.
Yeah.
John Whitman was hamstrung by having to write. He was told to write a Goosebumps ripoff, but yet he did it. He tied in so much continuity. It wasn't just a cash grab. He made sure it counted for fans like me. For fans like me, he puts in Hologram Fun World from the Jedi Prince series. I'm like, come on. I mean, he's making all these little connections and every chapter has to end on a cliffhanger, and then the next chapter, it was nothing. Well, that's how Goosebumps did it, so he had to copy them. But now Fairy Tale supposedly was, he didn't have to do that anymore. So now I get to see him tell a real story, and I was really excited about that. I was shocked at how good Galaxy. I was here. I tell you, I know where I was in my life when I read each one of these books. The first two Galaxy of Fear books came out together. I bought them and was sitting outside of the theater to watch. It was 1997. A New Hope was re-releasing in theaters, and I sat in line and I read both books in line. I finished the last chapter before they opened up the doors.
Nice.
I remember that vividly, and I remember going, "Oh my gosh!" Because I thought they were going to be stupid. I knew what they were. I knew it was their answer to Goosebumps. I was like, "Please don't rip off Goosebumps. You're Star Wars. You're better than this." And I went, "Oh, this isn't not so bad."
Yeah, go for it. Right.
It finishes off Dr. Evanson's story from Tales from Mos Eisley, which I don't think anyone knows that.
Interesting.
But it finishes off his tale, and I was like, "Shut up!" It's
amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing how much you did. Now hold on, I saw. Hold on. Only first-person books. Well, first person just bothers me. I don't know. It doesn't bother this guy. I mean, I'd read it. I wouldn't necessarily like it that much. I think only an outline was given. I think that's all that was, right, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know much actually. Yeah, I partially threw that out there just as like something I would want to see. I don't know how much.
I know they had an idea.
They must have something, right? Yeah.
LucasArts said they had I remember reading some article a long time ago, and they said that they had an idea. They had ideas of what they're going to do, and but they never answered the question: was he a clone or not? In the second, which he obviously is. He's got to be.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that. To me, I was never like that. Was a big mystery to me. But and though I did play the game just like for a few seconds, and it was okay. They say, well, wasn't Starkiller overpowered? Well, I mean, that was a video game character. So yeah, I get it. I accept that. That's fine. If it was just a regular EU novel, I would have a problem with that. But because it's based off Force Unleashed, the video game, I'm fine with it. And I thought they did a fine job explaining it too. He's just a young kid full of dark rage that, Darth Vader's manipulating. Okay, good. He can't control himself sometimes, which is good too, because that means he's going to basically, he would basically just implode in and of itself.
Yeah.
So, but the books I thought it was good, and I know people dog on Hayden Blackman's comic book series, but it was from a different perspective. I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I know some people don't though. Young Jedi Knight sequels that everyone wanted. I'll tell you this. How about this, Chris? New question. What series would you wish they would have done more on? Let's do that. Do you wish there was more Young Jedi Knights? Do you wish there was more Jude Watson? I'll be honest. I'll go first before you steal my answer.
Go ahead.
I want Jude Watson, but I want a Qui-Gon Count Dooku series.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. There's nothing more to say. That's exactly. Yeah.
That's exactly what I would want, because
Yep.
I remember when what was that thing called, Path of the Jedi, the hardback book she came out with, where it kind of shows Count Dooku and Yoda, and then Qui-Gon and Count Dooku, and it kind of goes through the time.
I can't remember the name. It's Secrets of the Jedi, right?
You're probably right.
Legacy of the Jedi.
You're probably right. Hold on, I have it here somewhere.
There's two versions. One is an omnibus that has that and something.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, it spans like 70 years or something, basically, right?
Yeah.
There's two versions. There's the gray version, and then there's a red version that actually pulls in a short story. And I think one's called Legacy of the Jedi. Here, let me look this up.
Well, I'm trying to look it up on my stupid shelf. Secrets of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Which one do you
Secrets
have?
of the Jedi.
Is that the gray one?
No, there was another one.
There's Legacy, and then
there it is. There's Legacy of the Jedi. That's it. This one.
Yeah, that's right. But do you know that there's another version of that pulls in a short story so the whole thing, it's got a different cover?
Oh, don't tell me that.
Let me see here. Let me look it up. I don't have any in my collection here in the house, so I'm a little puzzled. I think it's called Secrets of the Jedi. Let me look it up.
No, I have Secrets of the Jedi. Yeah.
And it's the same. I think it's the same.
Oh, yeah, because this has both of them. You're right. This has both of them in there. That's why I bought it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I got that. No, but when I read that and I saw a Qui-Gon Count Dooku story, I was like, that's what I want. Because Qui-Gon is vastly different from Count Dooku. However, we're watching a pure Jedi Knight, one of the great ones, so Count Dooku, but yet he has an underlying vanity about him. Mm-hmm. Even though he's a good guy, he still has, Count Dooku still a little bit, and Qui-Gon can kind of sense that, but Qui-Gon's learning a lot of lessons from him. And I thought that was an interesting dynamic, and only I would trust Jude Watson to cover that. Yeah. And the regular 12, 15 children's story, and that's kind of weird, but that's the one I would over Young. Even though I love Young Jedi Knights, folks, I love Young Jedi Knights. I've got to go Jude Watson there.
It's funny too, because you're not. Yeah, all things equal, you're not the biggest like prequel guy, right? You'd want to know where it goes rather than again, we already know what happens to Qui-Gon.
I'd rather move forward than backward. Yeah.
You're so right, and it's so funny. In the back of my mind, I always want to think like there's more we know about that era, and we really don't, right? And I actually always thought Count Dooku himself was a really interesting character that we don't get to know enough about. Another reason why I like Dark Rendezvous, I think, but that's a great choice.
Someone here put down, Blackman, in my opinion, is second only to John Ostrander, who I think just really blew it out of the park. I can't say that, because John Jackson Miller's Knights of the Republic was really good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But see, John Jackson Miller is so frustrating. Like, I love the guy and I hate the guy. I can't wait to talk to this guy, because I loved Knights of the Republic. What was he thinking with Knight Errant? I mean, it just wasn't working for him. I love the story. I hated that character. So plain. But yet then he writes Obi-Wan, which is an incredible book. I mean, to me, he either hits home runs or he strikes out and falls face first on the plate.
So it's the character. It's like, if you don't prefer the book to the comics or vice versa or something, it's both just. It's
Kara Holt.
Yeah.
But honestly, whether it's comic books or the book, the thing is, the idea, the what's going on in the world, that's interesting. The villain's interesting. Unfortunately, we have to look at everything from Kara Holt's perspective, who's boring.
Yeah.
It's weird. We always need more Waru, Dylan. You know that. They're doing fine. They're asleep right now. How are your twins doing?
Yeah, mine too. For once, it's amazing.
Yeah, you can't join my stream tonight unless you have kids, twins. This is twins only.
By the way, Matt, in all seriousness, being a Star Wars fan, how amazing is it to have twins, right? I remember when we found out, I just remember thinking wow, I've never been so happy just share something in common with Darth Vader, right? You know, so.
Yeah. That one of them are eventually going to turn evil, or would you think maybe they're going to battle to the death one day?
Hey, you know, it's a crazy world.
I'm telling you. Right now, the biggest crisis we have is when they fight over the same little children's mitten oven. Which we had a fight over today.
Yep.
One took it from the other one, ran all around the room while the other one's chasing her, screaming at the top of her lungs. It's fun stuff. But you know what, though? I have to say this, you know, not to be too mean, but Padme got off easy dying that quick, because raising twins, that would have killed her. That would have killed her.
That's right. Oh, my God.
So yeah, that was I'm telling you, that's it. It's wild, folks. It's wild. You got two going on. Like me and Megan will talk sometimes. Like, you know, these people who complain because they got a newborn baby and it just wears them out. Yeah, try doing that times two.
Yep.
Try doing that times two. Now I can't complain because her sister has triplets, and so you know I wouldn't complain in front of her.
Right.
Because she'd be like, oh, wait, hold on.
But the difference is she's got two that are older that help her. So yes, we can't complain.
Okay. Did you hear that?
No, what?
This is the Mrs. Sister I'm talking about. And she said the reason we can complain is that she has older kids who can help her with those triplets. So we can complain because we don't have any older siblings to help us with the twins.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So there we go. Good job, Mrs. I thought you had your earbuds on and weren't listening. But you're always,
I'm still listening.
You're still listening, just in case I say something to Chris you may regret.
No, I just heard Paul had switched over to a new episode, so I just happened to hear
that. My next question, and I already know this answer, so I'm going to answer it for you, but you need to tell me what. I've asked this question. We've talked about this before, about a character you wish could have their own book. And I don't know if you remember this. You threw this at left field with me. You went with Plato Keith.
Plato Keith, yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's a name. And you wanted to have her own, you know, you said that was a character you always wanted to know more about. That's a Weston Games character, folks. She was always like in the back of one of the, she was in a lot of the supplemental novels saying, hey there, smuggler.
That's right.
She was giving you tips about when you go to spaceports, when you go to the junkyard to pull parts, when you pull off a job. She's giving you smuggling tips. And it's also kind of how you would play. But she's the wizened smuggler, you know, who's been around the block a few times and knows her stuff. She's like, she looks as cool as a Han Solo times 10.
Totally. Yeah.
So what kind of story would you have liked with her? If there's another one that I kind of forced that answer on you, but if there's another one, you can give me it.
I need to think about that. I remember that conversation we had a long time ago. Yeah. I need to think about that, but she is a cool character. And it seems to me like it was like the perfect case study in, I mean, cause she is just a Han character that they just made a female version of, but it works, right? It's not just some cheap, cynical sort of like gender swap. Like it works, right? She's just a bad mama jamma, right? It's great. Now I would need to think about maybe a heist or something. I don't know, but you know what's funny is I have a hard time thinking about this because I remember she's drawn a little differently in some of the different versions. There's a version of her that they couldn't have known this because it came out so many years ago, where she looks exactly like the wife in Breaking Bad, like exactly.
Shut up.
So now I'm envisioning like a novel where she's like, she marries just some normal professor at the New Republic University who's a chemist or something, who ends up becoming a drug dealer, right?
Finds out he has the death seed plague in him and decides to go make death sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I mean, I got to find that photo. I mean, it's like uncanny.
Oh, I'd love to see it. There's one for me, and mine is also, I remember, because I don't know if you remember, this is one of our conversations we had one time. Mine was also from Westinghouse. I was thinking I was going to surprise Chris with my pick.
I don't remember what you said.
The Darkstrider campaign.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I think it needs to be a 3-volume trilogy. And I I am obsessed. I bought it because it said short story by Timothy Zahn, or the first chapter by Timothy Zahn. I had to read it. Well, then of course I had to read everything. I've read that 3 times. In fact, my wife has. I think on our honeymoon, I think I brought it just to read in the car while I was driving. You just go. It's on a highway. You're going straight anyway. But she had a picture of me just looking at this book, reading this book while we're on the highway. And I am just obsessed with that story. I absolutely think it's brilliant. It was so brilliant. And that was my first experience with West End Games. And then we were just talking about this earlier this week. These are just These are just supplemental novels, folks. Just supplemental things. Just one just about just devices. One just about devices. Or one's just about ships. Like what kind of parts you can put on ships and stuff. It will pull you in. And suck you in and fill your head up to the brim with all these ideas, things you never thought. You see Star Wars in a totally different perspective. It's not about the war. It's not about rebellion versus empire. Sure, you're dodging Imperial, post as a smuggler, but it's the whole. It just brings you down into this world, and you can actually conceive living in this world with all the certain devices, the planets, the aliens, and they just go the ships, which you don't see in other, because these books didn't exist back then. So West End Games was the sole proprietor of expanded universe material for a short while. And their imagination was so vivid, so strong, so creative that George Lucas insisted that every author, especially in the Bantam era, got a package of all the West End Game material. He was such a big fan of it. And I've heard that a million times. I've heard it from the mouths of authors. I've sat there and asked them, and they said, yeah, we got this package. Like, okay. And they said it was nice, because, hey, I need a ship for this. Oh, here's a ship. Or, hey, I need a planet. Oh, here's a planet. Or, I need an alien race. Oh, here's an alien race. So they would use that kind of as a supplemental to kind of help them identify whatever that, the thing that they needed in this section here. It's incredible. It's incredible. And Dark Strider campaign, the most incredible thing. But I remember because I thought when I asked Chris the question, I had my little West End Games answer, and then he throws Platter Keith like, "Shut up! Now I'm going to look like I'm copying him." That was a great answer. I was like, you know what? And that's all she is. That's all she is like she's in every or a few supplemental novels here and there. And whenever she has to give the smugglers tips, she's there to tell you something. Let me tell you a story of a deal that went wrong. I was on Keanu 3 last moon cycle, and it had a blah blah blah. And you fall in love with her because she's just a charming person who keeps giving you advice, and she's wanting to help you out. Young spacer of yourself. All right, Catabellion. By the way, I love your little. If that's a space cat, I absolutely love it. If you don't know, I have a short, sweet collection of space cat material. A Legends continuation novel. Yes, I have. What I thought about was Ewoks on Endor. Actually, I've written some short fiction before. It's out there. Oh Father, Where Art Thou?
Come around here.
Which is the Jedi Prince series, kind of a wrap up to the Jedi Prince series. And then another very, very short one. I can't remember what I called it. Oh, actually. Hold on. Oh, hey. Hello. Oh, my goodness.
It's supposed to be in bed, but she doesn't hang out.
Come here. Just look at the screen. It's Chris's daughter.
Hey.
Hey. Hey. You are so pretty. Oh, my goodness. I wish my little girls were up so I could see you. Look at her.
Oh, my goodness. She's so cute.
Chris, what's her name?
Audrey.
Hey, Audrey. Hello. You're so pretty. You're so pretty.
I love it.
You love it. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me see.
Do you want me to check it out?
What was the other one? Prelude to Empire. It was called Prelude to Empire. It's a very short story. I was reading, I'll tell you this. It's a 2-page short story kind of explaining the death of Evan Paul, Evan Hill, because we have a dual death there. And I kind of gave my explanation of it. Now, it was only 2 pages because I was reading Stephen King's Ennui, which is basically on writing. And Stephen King said a short story doesn't have to be X amount of pages. Don't ever think you have to get X amount of pages. He said short story could be 1 page and you can be done. If that's it, then you're done. Leave it alone. Don't add to it. And so I wrote 2 pages. I was like, I need more filler. But no, I was reading Stephen King's Ennui, and Stephen King said, leave it. So I left it. But I also was also not that good of a writer, you know. I'd like to give it another try. I did a long time ago on Prince of the Universe. We were reading chapters from Return to Endor, which was something I wrote back in college. We were reading it and we were laughing, but I'll be honest, some of those sections I thought were pretty good. Now I can't find it. It was on a zip drive. Like, I'm never going to get it off that again. But I also had it all printed out, and I was bringing out chapters, and for the life of me, it's gone. I don't know where it went. And I only had a physical copy because I could, you know, it's on the zip drive, which I thought was awesome. I thought the zip drives would be around forever, but much more better than a floppy disk.
Floppies, yeah.
And now I cannot find where that folder went to. And I hate to think that I don't think anyone would have thrown it away. I know I wouldn't have. I don't think Megan would have either, because it was in a clear, kind of orange, clear folder, plastic folder, and I can't find it anywhere, and it upsets me because I want to look at Return to Endor again. I studied so hard on notes on Ewokese, you know.
Did you actually like read it out loud? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, on the podcast, we'd take it for a while on Prince of the Universe, very early. I would read a little chapter, and Bruce and I would laugh. And then I put it up because I said, I'm gonna stop doing this. You know, no one cares. And then it just I always thought it was always thought it was right here, because this is where it was kept with a bunch of this stuff. And I always thought it was somewhere in here, but it's not anymore. Now, there is a chance it could have fallen back behind the, maybe it fell back behind the bookshelf. Maybe. I'm hoping that's it, because I don't know where on earth it is anymore. And I only had that physical copy. I remember how it went, but I kind of liked some of the things. But it was about Sindel Tatwani going back to Endor because she got an invitation from Wicked that he was getting married. This is the Kanisha Wicked wedding that we read about in the Return of the Jedi supplemental from West End Games, because it shows their vows or something in there. And I wanted to show what happened at that wedding. Well, when she goes back, it involves the Ewok movies, by the way, here. When she goes back, what happened is old Noah's who's old, wants to go back and see Teak. Unfortunately, when he gets there, we find out Teak passed away years ago. He goes to his grave, kind of talks to his old friend, walks to the forest a little bit, comes across, what's his name? The Marauder who died. Tarok. And Tarok, has the ring in his clenched fist still, but he's sitting there like this. And he just looks at Tarok, and he's just so mad because Tarok killed his partner. Tarok ruined his life, and whatnot. And so he basically grabs his staff and just smashes the petrified statue of Tarok. The ring is loose. He doesn't realize it. He walks away, and suddenly Cheryl, the Dothamir witch, who's been trapped as a bird for years, sees the ring and now knows she can escape. So now an older Sherelle is back, and she wants revenge on the Ewoks and Noah and Sindel and all of them. But she knows she can't do it by herself. Ready? So she goes to the Dulocs, who have basically declared peace because they can't. The Ewoks are way too smart for them, and they keep getting out tricked by them. So they just decided we're not going to deal with you anymore. Mm-hmm. The Duloc Ewok peace treaty has been signed. They move far away. Well, she gets them riled up, and she employs some of the Yuzum, who the witch, who's the witch in the Ewoks cartoon? Morag employed, because they still got some of that dark side buzzing in her. So she grabs some of them as some of her bodyguards. So those are kind of the evil Yuzum. And then she has the Dulocs, and she goes, I will lead you. And so the Dulocs don't want to fight. They don't want to fight. They're scared of Ewoks, but she shows them how powerful she is, and they kind of get, and she kind of, you know, shames them into, are you cowards? Are you Dulocs? You know, and so now she has a Duloc army. And so she's bringing this against the Ewoks, unbeknownst to the Ewoks. The Ewoks know the Dulocs are out there, but they said, no, they've stopped. Peace is there. And I used Ralph McQuarrie's drawings. I don't know if you remember that, but they show a seaside of Endor, like a lake side. And I was like, that is so interesting. So Sindel, Wicked takes Sindel out to the dock side of Endor. You're seeing different sides of Endor now. And they attack all of a sudden. Oh man, I should mention that there's someone there that doesn't want to. He just wants to go and accompany Sindel, and it's who did I say it was? No, there is no one accompanying Sindel. I'm sorry. There's an Ortaloon, which is the blue Max Rebo.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
No one's ever done something about those aliens.
Yeah, no kidding.
So this is an alien. He is he's a funny little dumpy guy. You know, he loves food, but he takes care of Noah in his old age. So he's kind of Noah's homekeeper who takes care of Noah. Well, you know, because Sindel hired him to. Well, he's on the adventure too. So you have a new character too who's kind of funny and kind of being there for Noah and trying out Ewok cuisine and loves everything, you know, even stuff he's not supposed to be eating. But and then that's when the attack happens and all breaks out and the Ewoks have to fight back against Cheryl and everyone. And Noah will eventually die saving them, maybe taking down the witch, but he's happy. He gets buried next to Teak.
Wow.
And so he's finally at peace. And I mean, that's what the story was. And
you clearly have enough still in your memory to like rewrite it, I think.
Oh, because I obsessed over this story for the longest because I wanted to. I thought, and then I had a trilogy set up because after that it was going to be an. Well, I don't remember what the actual title. No, it's a Yankee in King Arthur's Court. I think that was the original book, right?
Yeah.
So I said an Ewok in Coruscant City is what it was. Yeah. And basically now Sindel's getting married. By the way, who's she getting married to? Zach Aranda from Galaxy of Fear, Tash's younger brother.
Yeah. They're
about the same age if you look at the timeline. So Zach and Sindel have met because Sindel did an expose. Remember, she runs the Life Monitor, a little journal on Coruscant. She does an expose on Jedi, meets Zach through that, and then they get together. So they're getting married. I mean, I tied this all in. So she invites. Now it's time for Wicked to come. Well, their spaceship docks at the wrong port. They had to do a reroute. Well, so Zach and Sindel are waiting for them. They don't move. Then they find out last minute they're on the other side of the city. So they have to move over there. Well, by then the Ewoks get off the ship and they're like, what's going on here? So then through one, it was going to be this is going to be a short story. It's going to be kind of a comedy. Because, of course, they're kind of going around Coruscant, kind of being Ewoks, getting into trouble, unbeknownst, like finding other speeders and chasing after one another.
Yep.
Until Sindel and Zach, they're following this trail of just disaster is what the Ewoks are doing until they finally find them. And then the third book was going to happen years later when Zach and Sindel are married. It's going to be called Dark Moons of Endor. And the New Jedi Order has the Vong are invading the galaxy, and they know it's not safe. They know that the Vong are making a beeline for Coruscant, so they head to Endor, an out-of-the-way planet that they think is they can safely keep her children. She has maybe one or two children, so Zach accompanies her. He gets permission from Luke to hide her, and he's going to come back and join the battle. But it's a dangerous world out there, so they leave Coruscant. They go to Endor. Unfortunately, there's a Vong scouting mission, and a scout ship has landed on Endor. And here's the deal. The Vong love this planet. The Ewoks don't have technology either.
Right.
They want to form an alliance with the Ewoks.
Oh, that's great.
Now, the Ewoks know they are just evil people. The Ewoks know this. But they're also trying to hide Zach and Sindel because they know that Jedi they will kill.
Yeah.
So the Ewoks are pretending to agree to help, you know. But in the meantime, what they're really trying to do is save Sindel and her children and Zach. But there's this small, even a small station of Vong is a huge threat to Ewoks and Jedi. So now they have to make a plan to do an uprising to get rid of the Vong and to stop them from putting up a scout base, a secret base there, which could hurt. They're trying to outposition, outmaneuver the New Republic. And so it's just about a battle that happens on, Endor.
I hope.
The second battle for Endor,
You sold me. I just realized I think Disney decanonized because they didn't think the world was ready for this level of like EU, like kind of just. I mean, this is like white hot. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I know. But like I said, I thought now the first one I wrote out, the first story I wrote out, Bloody Caravan. The first one I wrote out, but if I find you would love to read it, well, I'd love to read it too. I just don't have Return to Endor up anymore. I only had a printed version, and it wasn't that good. It was mostly Sindel said this, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said this, then they went here. And it wasn't that good. I'd like to pick it up and kind of, give it a little bit more life. But the whole trilogy I had thought out in my head. The second book was going to be kind of just like a joke. Ewok fish out of water on Coruscant, thought was fun. So we'd have a normal adventure, a fun, happy, laughy adventure, and then a very dark. The third act would be a dark one where someone may not make it out alive. I do have a little bit of Troy Denning in me, where I feel like killing off a character is the right way to go.
Did we have a pass by?
It was Wicked, right? Coruscant falls on Wicked.
I would never kill an Ewok. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Yeah, that's great.
Ewok lives matter. All right, let's see here. Pants versus a Vong baby. Here you go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but that was my idea. I'd like to do. I mean, the thing is, I don't know if you've ever tried to write something, it takes a while. It takes a lot of preparation. You have to really set out an outline, build the world that you're looking in, study the world. I mean, in that folder, I had tons of notes, places on Endor, food, what their daily life was like, because I would reread. What was it? It was Kevin J. Anderson's Star Wars Universe. Macquarie and Anderson. This is it.
Oh yeah.
This is one of my references. In fact, let me show you because when I looked at this, first off, the artwork by Ralph McQuarrie is unbelievably gorgeous. And then this is the very first appearance of Professor Hoole, who was picked up later on in Galaxy of Fear. When I read Galaxy of Fear, I was like, Hoole, how do I know that name? Because I'd already read this, and I was like, how smart was that?
Yeah, it took me a long time to realize that was like that's actually a piece of EU right there. Like it's actually in universe,
Yeah, it is. By the way, these are stories from the EU. This comes with EU stories, and in a you're seeing a report, you're reading a report from someone, but it's all EU.
If it's a serious kind of animal.
I mean, hold on, I'm trying to find that picture. I know it's in here somewhere.
Matt, I'm gonna have to sign off here. I gotta take.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Thanks for
letting me jump on and
thank you.
Taking over
Thanks for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Nelson. Chris, have a good night.
Thanks a lot, you too.
Good seeing you. So there's Chris. But yeah, I can't remember where I got that picture from now. If anyone else can help me remember, but it was a picture of them by the sea, and I just can't remember. I don't remember where that was from. Hello, OG Star Wars. How are you? A fanfic trilogy. That's correct. That's what it was. Yeah, I you know what? OG had this great stream that I've only gotten to see a portion of. I was actually doing an interview, or I was actually on Scoundrels Cantina during the same exact time. I didn't know those are going to happen at the same exact time. So the whole time I'm checking her channel, going, "Oh no, look what she's got going on!" And I was on Scoundrels Cantina earlier today, which those guys are a lot of fun. Doggone it! I wish I knew. What? No, it's not Star Wars Illustrated Universe. I think it was the Atlas. I don't remember where I saw that picture. But either way, hey Adam, how's it going? Yeah, that was my idea. That was my idea. You drew your own Empire 3. Wow, that's cool. That is cool. I wish I could draw. I can't. I think, Scott, I don't know if you've seen it, but if yeah, my hair, amazing is one word for it. But if you see, Scott, all these all this paper up here are comic books. And this is just a small portion. This is maybe 1/10 of what I've drawn. I used to give them all away, but these are the only ones I've kept. All these stacks of paper up here is comic books. And the thing is, I can't draw. I draw the evolution of a stick man. Okay. But I did that for years. That was one of my hobbies, just to kind of do. And I mean, I remember showing them. I was laughing about some of the covers, but I showed a few of the covers and stuff I did back in the day. But that was an old hobby of mine. Love Lord of the Rings. Read it a million times. Love Chronicles of Narnia. Read it a lot too. Just reread Wheel of Time. Read C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy. I love Bone, the comic book series. I love Sherlock Holmes adventures, the original ones by I'm trying to see what else is on there. Oh, Dune. I have the Harry Potter series. Probably won't read that again for a long time though. Dune was really good, and that's what I have. I have a few other things. Right now I'm reading something by Peter K. Hamilton. I cannot remember the name. My buddy wants me to read it. And since he read the Silo series, the Silo series by Hugh Howley, really good. We're doing those reviews. Don't watch my podcast though. I ruin all the books. But the Silo series by Hugh Howley is really good too. And now I'm reading some by Peter K. Hamilton. I can't remember what the name of it is. But since my buddy read Silo series, I said, well, you give me a book to read. And he gave me a duology, but it's like 700, 800 pages each book. So, whew. That's a big one, but I'm going to do it for him. I'm reading through it. No, it's tomorrow. I told you. It's tomorrow. I told you tomorrow, because you said your thing was tomorrow, right? Now you draw your own. Just draw him. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. Everything. I love Sherlock Holmes. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's collection, that they used to sell in Barnes & Noble, the big nice cover. Have it. I've read it twice, maybe 3 times, and I will read it again. I absolutely love Star Wars. Yeah, here comes all the suggestions. No, you know what? The only other thing I've read by Kevin J. Anderson is the Saga of the Seven Sons series, which I thought was good. Gave it away to a buddy of mine because I don't think I'll read it again. But I hear his Superman Batman's good. I read his X-Files books, which were good. But no, I haven't read anything else from him. I know he does a lot of stuff right now because he has his own publisher there. Oh, that's going to be a hard slog. My buddy just rewatched all those because he used to love them as kids. He said, don't do it. He said, it's terrible. Terrible. We have, it's up in the air right now. I haven't decided. I have right now Pioneers, Queen Games, Queen Domino, King Domino, kind of want to play that. Kind of want to show them that. That's a really fun game. Big City, which I haven't played in a while. And I got a new game called Hedera. I wasn't going to get it, but then a friend of mine said that they pointed out that I like a bunch of his other games. The designers like the games. I should try it. So I looked it over. It looks really good. And that's probably on the list. If not, then I'm probably, maybe, I kind of want to do this. I want to do Zombiegeddon. Just combine all the zombie expansions and just play zombies that night. We haven't done that in years. And this guy, one of the guys coming over, is from my old gaming group. And just recently he said, remember the days when we used to play zombies a lot? Kind of miss those days. And I was thinking, I do too. So we may do just a zombies night, and that'll be it. I just talked to Carrie Breitenstein from Twilight Creations Inc. This past week. She is super nice. I don't know if they're coming out with another expansion. I forgot to ask her that. I was asking about something else. Remember, they have advertised Martians 2 for 5 years now, and they just last I heard she was going to school, but I think she's out now. But I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what Twilight Creations, ever since her husband passed away, they have not been the same company. Yeah, and I like Carrie, and I like her son too. I've talked to him several times, but it just hasn't been the same. Hasn't been the same company. They haven't been as consistent. The game quality hasn't been as good. I hate that I have to talk bad about a zombies game, but there's a few expansions that are just not good. And they started coming out after Todd passed away. And I just don't think they get play tested well enough. I just don't. And there has been some good ones. There have been some good ones. 13 was good. 15 was good. 14 was an abomination. It was so bad. I don't think it ever been play tested. And the last one was a great idea. I kickstarted it. My girls and my wife have their own card, zombies card, because of it. But it's not. It was not play tested very well. There's a lot of problems with that one too. So I love this series. It's not a very popular gaming series, but it was my first one. It's roll and move, play cards. Kind of generic too when you think about it. But we always had a blast. That was the only game we used to play back in the day. So it's one of those two. I love Splitting the Mind's Eye. I think that's fantastic. I thought it was great. I can't remember the villain's name, who's scared of Darth Vader. He's a big bad guy, but then when Darth Vader comes in the room, he quivers and falls apart. I love that. But yeah, Splitting the Mind's Eye was fun. Maybe you just need to give me your entire HeroScape collection. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I know we're talking about Brian locking his doors. One day I'm going to travel up to Maryland and rob Tabletop blind. He won't even realize it, though, because he has such a big shelf of games he's never going to play ever that he won't even miss it. He won't even miss it. Take them all. Comics? I don't know, but I'll do a top 5 comic books probably when I'm done going with this series. Yeah. He's like Kaiser Soze, and then he's gone, just like that. Oh, you do? Do you have the Sherlock Holmes 22 Baker Street? Do you have that game? It's really fun. I gave it to a friend of mine because I couldn't find anyone to play with me. My nephew was the only one who enjoyed it, but you need more than 2 players. You go around a different area. It's just roll and move and then read the clue and then try to eventually figure out the who done it and why. Some of the adventures were kind of cheesy and some of them are kind of interesting. You do have to figure it out. It's a nice game. In fact, they came out with a special edition that has all 225 cases or whatever. And I gave it away to a buddy of mine, but it was neat. It's neat. It has nice pieces, but 22 Baker Street's a fun Sherlock Holmes game if you have the right people. Yeah, I know. You're stacking up that collection, man. No, I hear it didn't get better. That's Challenge of the Super Friends. And my buddy told me that. He said, don't ruin your childhood by watching those again. He said, you just think of them as nice cartoons. I was like, okay. I want to rewatch them. For a very small time, I thought about buying the DVD collection, but it's not one complete DVD collection. You have to pay like $100 something to get it all. I was like, ooh, no. And I know it was streaming on DC Unlimited, but I never watched it then. And now it's gone. DC Unlimited is, and it's not on HBO Max. At least not that I looked on HBO Max. They don't have it. Where should you start? For the expanded universe, it depends. What era do you like? A lot of times I talk about Timothy Zahn's Thrawn trilogy, the Heir to the Empire trilogy. That's probably the best way, but that's if you're interested in the sequel story. If you like the prequels a lot, a good one to start with would be James Luceno's Darth Plagueis. And if you like the Old Republic a lot, Drew Karpyshyn's Darth Bane trilogy is really good. Usually I tell people Timothy Zahn's Thrawn trilogy, Heir to the Empire. Not much manga, or anime. I watched Akira back in the day, enjoyed it, thought it was weird, but enjoyed it. That was the first experience I had. This is back in the, mid 90s, early 90s. What else did I watch back then? Fist of the North Star. Okay. Vampire Hunter D, the original one, which I thought was really crazy and stupid. The hand eating the dirt to give him power. That was kind of weird. But yeah, I don't really watch anything. My old buddy is a huge anime and manga fan. He tries to cram that stuff down my throat, but I just don't, I won't make the time right now to watch any anime. Yeah, I watched the original series, and that's about it. I do like how the animal version kind of continued of the original cartoon. It continued the story. My brothers watched that one. I was like, wait a minute. Because I watched the first episode where they're all vehicles from the original cartoon, and they all have to reshape themselves. They go in the jungle, and they get these pictures of animals, and they kind of just get reformed into robots. I was like, oh, it continues from the original series. But I never watched after the original series. And the original series probably isn't that good anymore. The movie is great. Oh, that 1986. I think it's 1986. Transformers movie is just great. It destroyed my life as a child, but it was so violent. But it's real. I saw it way later, and it's just good. Yeah, it is. That's what it is. It's a lot of fun, and they're doing pieces together. And so I got I've always been wanting a bag of zombie kids, and she doesn't sell them, but now they're selling individually. So I was like, oh, well, there's the extra zombie kids I need, because I don't feel there's enough zombie kids in Zombies 9. And I wanted more, and so I got more. And then to round it up to $10, even though she didn't give me my promo card, but I've already gotten it. She gave me a few earlier. I got some werewolf zombies from Little Red Riding Hood. They're Little Dead Riding Hood game or whatever, and I put those in my game. But that's part of Zombiegeddon. A werewolf zombie is impossible to kill. You have to roll a 12 or so, or 9 or something. I mean, and you can only roll a 6, so you have to use extra bullets to kill them. They're very hard to kill. They move really fast, and they're in a certain level toward the end of the game, if you ever get that far. But I'm imagining you have some weapons to help you out too at that point. I have no idea, my friend. No idea. Right here. To be honest, a lot of this stuff is getting reprinted by Marvel. Other than that, though, a lot of it's out of print. You can check online, eBay, but some of that stuff is expensive. Legacy especially. I know that second series would be. Yeah, Grammel. That's who it was. I love, he takes that spear and he jabs that guy in the eye and goes, tell him because the spear is the record. And he goes, I'd like to put this on the record. And so he stabs him in the eye, pulls out his eye and goes, tell him his complaint is on record. And I was like, oh my gosh, Grammel's, he's so scary. And then Vader comes in. He's like scared of Vader. And I loved it. I loved it. That was a really good, you don't see that happen in much of the other EU books. Alan Dean Foster, I have an autographed copy of that too, thanks to Dylan. Dylan met him, says, you want an autographed copy of Spirit of the Mind's Eye? I went, yeah. Why is that even a question? Of all, hey, guess what, Tony? Guess what? it was on this day 3 years ago that Tony and I met face to face. This exact day. I meant to text you today to tell you happy anniversary from me to you, buddy. I went down to visit him and we took a picture and it popped up on my feed. That's how I know. It's a picture of us when I first came over to your house. That was February 12th, 3 years ago. So, favorite Mets player right now, I mean, I guess you gotta say DeGrom, but my favorite of all time, let me give him my favorite of all times. Big Keith Hernandez fan. Love Keith Hernandez. Mike Piazza right behind him, probably even tied for first. Mike Piazza I was in love with. And the third one is an answer that every Met fan will give you, Bartolo Colon. I want him to play. He wants to play one more season, and he wants to be a Met. He will sign for the bare minimum price. We can get him cheap. He'll pack out. People will come to see him. Every Mets fan wants Bartolo Colon back on the team. And even if it's just for like a one-day contract where he gets to pitch one game for a few innings and then he retires, I think he'd accept that. I think he'd accept anything right now, but he's 47 years old. No one wants to give him a shot. He just wants to play one season, retire. I understand because he didn't get his retirement season. He never officially retired. He's still not retired. He's still labeled a free agent. Okay. But no one's going to take him. He's old. He's overweight. But I wish we would. New York would just go nuts if Bartolo Colon signed with the Mets. But they're not going to waste one of their picks on the roster for him. But he is a really big favorite of mine. I do need to play Diogenics. My buddy Spencer. Oh, by the way, on EU.com, Spencer. I think it starts next week. He's going to do. And I haven't got him to do the rest of them yet, but he's going to do a series on Imperial Assault, the game, which it happens to be Legends, all Legends. And he kind of talks a little bit about it. Now, Imperial Assault is something that I am interested in, and that is because of Spencer. He's getting me interested in it. But I really want to play it because I already have 1, 2, 3 dungeon crawls. I don't really want another one, but I read the first article a little early. And it sounds really good. I hear good things about it too. My buddy also likes Rebellion. That's his favorite. Dylan loves X-Wing. That's his favorite. And I think Brian loves Armada, which I got to play with Brian, and I beat him by complete accident because I didn't know what I was doing. But I killed him. Because I did not know what I was doing, and he didn't think anyone was that stupid to do the moves that I did. So I won by accident. In good grace, Brian gave me the victory and smiled about it, but I would have been ticked off. Well, not Barry Bonds or Bobby Bonilla, that's for sure. My favorite Pirates player. I don't know. Throw a few at me, Tony. Throw a few at me. Look at these nice RC cans I got though. Hanging right here. I want to get an RC shirt. I was looking at that. I get all that. I'm into getting these special T-shirts now. They have a T-shirt for everything now. One RC shirt. Let's see. I lost every time I scroll down. Hold on. Dawn of the Jedi. All right. Beast Wars. That's what it was called. I saw it somewhere in here. Again, you mean the old one? Yeah, I'd watch the old one again. I think that'd be fine. What a moron. He didn't know that. Well, a lot of people they don't do any. That means he did zero study into the EU like most people did. Oh yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun, and we have a lot of fun playing it. Yeah, the Jedi main. There you go. That's funny. Hey, did you, Tony? Tom was on here earlier in the chat. Did you go see him? Did y'all record a podcast together? Oh, right on. After the throwing trip, if you're asking me, then I'd start going through all of Bantam. People in the chat can tell you differently, but Truce of Bakura, and then go from there. You know, Courtier Princess Leia, and go through it chronologically. That's just me. Or if you want to, I would never suggest someone start chronologically, because I think Dawn of the Jedi is the worst, one of the worst books ever. But you could do that as well. But people in the chat can let you know too. You're a jerk. This guy's a jerk. Y'all need to tell Bernardo he's a jerk. Never mind. Dylan's a jerk. Dylan, I was saying so many nice things about you two before you came on here. I take them all back. Yes, eventually, you're right, Michael. And Spencer knows it was like the last Legends one was the Jabba expansion or something like that. He told me about that, so he's gonna write up to that one. But it did eventually become Disney canon. You're correct. Some of the older the older players you play as are listed under as Legends, though. I noticed that. I didn't know that. I never had a PS5 or PS4, so I can't really answer that one. Yeah, it was dumb because I didn't know what I was doing. I stacked my order backwards is what it was. So I did everything backwards, and I was like, oh, I knew what I did, but I have a rule: no take backsies, man. No take. I got my order wrong, but it turned out that Brian, I can't remember. I somehow moved along his broadside and then opened fire, all cannons blazing, and I had him at point blank range. And I was like, what does that mean? He went, that means you just won the game. And I was like, yeah, I'd be ticked, man. That was just so stupid. That was a lame win. Lame win. Andy Van Slyke. It's a nice one. There's got to be other Pirates players I'm trying to think of right now. Raleigh Fingers. Can I pick Raleigh Fingers? That dude with the mustache, huh? He was a pirate. Yeah, Dylan, here you go. Well, there's Roberto Clemente. Yeah, you could say him. Wagner, too. Sturgis. Yeah, no, yeah, those are good players. I don't think there's ever been a pirate that's kind of like jumped at me and been like, ooh. Oh, no. Tim Wakefield started with the Pirates. He was impressive. Oh, that's a good pick too, McCutcheon. Y'all are turning this into a baseball thing. I can't twist that. It's not that good, but to be honest, you can give it a try and see if you like it. It's Tim Levin. I found out because he wrote a Firefly novel that I just read this past year, and I was very excited to read it because, is it Tim Levin or is it just Dawn of the Jedi? It's Tim Levin. His writing style is horrendous. I don't really play video games anymore, if that question's for me. Jason Kendall, look at this. Michael. He knows it. Handyman can talk about anything there. Bonds pre-steroids, yeah. Bonilla, too. I was so excited when the Mets got Bonilla. We're still paying Bobby Bonilla. Said no one ever. Good. Hopefully you like it. The comics are better. If you're talking about Dawn of the Jedi, the comics are better. However, they never ended. And that's the problem. I can't suggest the comic books either. I like John Ostrander. He had the idea where he's going, I was interested in, but it never got it never got me hooked in. I was getting interested, but it didn't. Oh yeah, well, there, you just said it. I'm sorry, I should have read ahead. It did deserve a proper ending. Well, look at that. We just match perfectly. Shut up, Dylan. Someone said in a chat, no, in a comment on one of my videos today, it's so funny. I can't remember who it was. Zabarian, it could have been you, but usually, if Matt says I'm not making this up, it's probably a good story. If Matt says I wish I was making this up, it's a great story. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, well, look at that. You felt inspired to get people to pull them away from watching me. So, you know, do your own. What you putting out? What reviews? What board game reviews? I don't have enough for this month, by the way, Bernardo. I don't have enough games. There's one that I won on a bid on an auction, really cheap too. I was shocked. It didn't. I guess the hype for it died out, or maybe I got it first. I don't know. But I got it for really cheap. I had to double check the price and check him because it comes with just about every expansion except for the newest one. I was like, you're offering this for the price of the base game. And I got it. Now he hasn't, he set it up in the, it's off Board Game Geek. He set it up and gave me the ticket and I, purchased it, but he hasn't responded back with shipping. And if it goes 3 days, it gets kicked out. And this is day 2. So he has one more day to get back to me. So I guess he's maybe thinking, oh, wait, I'm giving him all those games. I think he's gonna reverse that decision, I'm afraid. But I mean, if it probably, unless it comes, there's no physical way I can get that in unless he overnights it to me. I don't think I can still get it played next week. So I'm gonna be a board game short. Yeah, that was you. That's why I thought that was a fun little quote. Oh, there you go. Which Gremlins game? The one with the miniatures or the card game? Dynamite's a real fun one. I almost bought the miniature game, if that's the one you're talking about. The one with the really nice miniatures. I think it was called Gremlins 2, in fact. Yeah, I thought that was your comment. I like that. That was funny. Spoken like a superstitious fan there. Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, I still don't think Steve Cohen's going to do anything with the Mets. I mean, he's made. I just don't. There's no way. If we get second place, that'd be a dream. But we're gonna place third, if that. But yeah. Well, you're not doing your reviews. You're doing the end, so it doesn't have to be chronological. You're focusing on the end stuff right now. I enjoy all that kind of stuff, the Droids and Ewoks cartoons and stuff like that. The comic books from Marvel and everything. I mean, they're hokey, but that was from my time. I do too, absolutely. No, I didn't say miniature game. You're doing the card game. Okay. No, there's a game. It came out like toys. They look like little, I say miniatures, they look like little toys, and you move them across the board. Tom Bassel did a review on it a long time ago. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, it's a Gremlins game. It has a nice gizmo picture, pawn or whatever, and some Gremlin pawns. It doesn't look like much, but for a short while, if I was a super Gremlins fan, I'd get it. I looked at the card game, but wasn't it? The only card game of those, the Christmas ones that came out, was Frosty the Snowman for the missus, because she loves Frosty the Snowman. And then Christmas Vacation, I thought that was kind of neat, but I ended up not getting any of them. Christmas Vacation wasn't even available till after Christmas. Like, who? What? Why? Why promote it and then not have a chance? There's nowhere you could buy it unless you want to pay like top. I don't know. I say nowhere you could buy it, but like Target wasn't going to get it till after Christmas. They're fun. They're fun. 2008. What was it doing in 2008? I don't know. Fun question. Hello, Tyler. Oh, these questions are coming in fast. Well, I like Steve Cohen, though. I think he's going to make a difference with the Mets. We'll see. It's funny because after a more civilized age, after we filmed it, I think Brian was afterwards. I think me, Brian, and Dylan and Ryan sit there and talk baseball for like another hour, really. Ryan has this huge autographed baseball card collection. That's what I meant, Mogwai. Mogwai. Look, I got a Mogwai right there. But, any idea what Disney's announcement about Star Wars Legends? I didn't know they were going to make an announcement about that, so I don't know. Oh, we'll start with Jude Watson's Jedi Apprentice series. I think that's where he makes his first appearance. And then, of course, he's a little bit more involved. Wait, is he in Jedi Apprentice? He's not in Jedi Apprentice. He's in Jedi Quest. Is his first appearance. Then he gets to the Last of the Jedi series. If you like Ferris Olin. New Order. Probably when issue 108 came out. No. Pete, I mean, of course, I told everyone I enjoyed the New Order a lot. I was just like, oh, I wouldn't say that Pete, because they came out with great stories afterwards, but that was just a great time. Great time to be a Star Wars fan. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think they ever will do a Legends TV show. Oh, he's older. And Last of the Jedi, he's older. They pushed the story on further into the future. There's your answer, Dylan. Oh, really? That's sad. I like the Bantam era. That's just me, though. I enjoyed it. But, yeah. So, all right. Well, I think I'm going to end it because it's been 2 hours now. It's time. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me on a Friday night. It's really cool. Really cool. Dylan, are you here? Meaning, are you in Texas now? You talking to me from Texas? I'm assuming you are. I don't know when you go back, but Megan and I were talking about you earlier. If your flight gets delayed because of severe winter weather, I can come pick you up and you can just stay with me for the rest of your life. We can put a little mat in the girls' room. They cry probably just once in the night each. You just have to just get up and just pop the passy in their mouth. That's it. Then they'll go back to bed. One may cry for mama for a little bit, but you can just, you can just give her the shush shush, or you can just sing to her. You could do that. We can play games, play board games, and you can come into my room again, and we can do videos. We could do the baseball podcast live together, the same room. Wouldn't that be great? So yeah, lots of options, Dylan, if you just want to stay. I mean, no one's going to blame you for not wanting to go back to California. And I'll go get a big tub of cheese balls. I was going to say that. The Cheesy Poofs will get you a big old day supply. Probably a little bit more there. But yeah. All right. All right. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Thank you so much for joining and everything. And hey, I meant to do, I guess this is, I never did anything for the 6,000th subscriber. I know I'm past that now, but I'm still thinking of what I want to do. I don't know. I have an idea. I got some video of my little girl. She took one of my mics from my podcast here, and she started just singing and rocking in this chair. And I thought that'd be a funny video to post, so I may do that one. But anyway, all right, gang. Well, y'all have a good night, and I'll see you later. I think what have I got going on tomorrow? Saturday morning camouflage, and I can't remember what episode it. Oh, you know what? Hold on. We can do this. We can find out what Saturday morning camouflage it is. It's the one on superheroes. Duh, we just did that one. All right, that's right. Last one we did. See, I don't think we've ever done top 5 superheroes, which is kind of weird because I thought we had, and then I looked at it over all the other topics and we hadn't. So I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. We'll do one on top 5 superheroes, and then for the board game that's going to come out, I'm doing a board game review. I just did a Sarah, which was a really fun. That was a really fun. It's a really fun game. Simple, straightforward, but really fun. It is, a Queen game. A Queen game is all I will say. Got to review another Queen game. But anyway, all right. And then, of course, there's more Matt's Expanded Universe and all that fun stuff coming out next week, too. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for joining.